I didn't tell anybody about what happened, not even Gaia. I didn't want it to be real. And if I didn't tell anyone, then that stopped it becoming more real, didn't it? I think Mum felt the same, and that's why she didn't tell the police or go to hospital. Mum did start to get better in some ways. Her face started healing straight away. It went very purple, and then a sort of blue, and after that it was very yellowy. You could still see the scar on her cheek, but it stopped looking painful. I thought things would go back to how they were before, back when Mum used to tell me funny things that happened at the shop she worked in. She was also always so good at describing customers. It felt like they appeared right in front of me, or when she would open the fridge and then slam it back shut again and say, Aid, let's get out of here, and we go to McDonald's for a treat. But instead, Mum retreated into herself, locking herself away from the outside world. Gaia somehow seemed to understand all this, without me even having to say it. Maybe your mum's got something wrong with her, she said gently, cutting through my memories. I screwed up my face when she said this, so I knew she tried to stop herself from saying the next words in her mind, but they came tumbling out anyway. Maybe she should see a doctor? It was only a whisper, but I heard it. A doctor. Someone to make Mum better again. It seemed like a good idea. Her face had mended itself, but there was damage on the inside, wounds I couldn't see that needed healing as well. When I came home from school that day, I went straight into her bedroom and said in a loud voice, Mum, I'm home. She stirred in her sleep and then gave a sort of shrug that buried her body deeper in the bedclothes. Wake up, Mum, I said. I'm home, I'm home. There was a stale smell in Mum's bedroom. It wasn't unpleasant exactly, but neither was it clean or fresh. An image of Mum ready for work appeared in my mind. Her clothes were neat and they smelled nice like flowers and what I think clouds might smell like. Aid, she said in a small voice, be a good boy and go and play in the sitting room, will you? I'm so tired. I've got to sleep some more. Then I'll come out, okay? You're always tired all the time, I said. Mum, do you think you should go and see someone? Someone? What do you mean? Mum's voice sounded sharp like the screech of a violin. Someone like a doctor, I said. I'm just tired, Aid. I have to sleep, she said. That will make me feel better. A doctor can't help me. Just saying those few words seemed to make her more tired. They might, Mum. In answer, Mum rolled away from me. I walked around to the side of the bed she was facing. She wasn't even asleep. She was just staring at the wall. Maybe all this time I thought she was sleeping when she wasn't. She was staring at the walls unmoving. Mum, I said, but her face remained expressionless. Mum, I insisted, but she didn't even flinch. Get up, you have to. You have to go to work. Again, I thought of Mum dressed up all nicely like she used to be. At first, I thought she hadn't heard me, but then I saw round, swollen tears roll down her cheeks. I can't Aid. I can't go out there. But what about your job? I told them I'm not coming back. It happened. It happened. It happened. It happened just by the shop. What did Mum? I said. What happened? I dared not to ask her again since that night I come home to find her bleeding and injured. They were there, she said simply, and she rolled over and away from me and her shoulders shook with sobs. I put my hand on her neck and felt the vibrations up my arm, all her pain racking her body. After a long time she was still, and I trod softly out of the room and left her to sleep. Before she started crying, I felt cross with her and I hated it. Part of me knew she couldn't help it, but the other voice had whispered into my ear, is she trying to get better? Why won't she try to get up? But now I only felt achingly sad and alone. I switched the television on and turned the volume up so high my mum would hear it through the walls. We used to watch television together all the time. She watched my programmes and I watched some of hers too. She used to really like cookery shows, so I flipped through the channels to see if I could find one. If she couldn't see it, she could at least hear what they were cooking. There was nothing like that on now though, so I put on the news. They were talking about an old abandoned pub that had fallen down. I recognised the pub straight away. It was right by my tower. I walked right past it to go to one of the bigger shops. It was one of those tall, old-fashioned pubs, but it had been empty for a while and its windows had boarded up. Last time I'd walked past, I'd noticed that plants had started growing out from in between the bricks. They had grey leaves and purple flowers that clumped together to look a bit like an ice cream cone. It was reported as just one of those strange, bizarre happenings that no one could explain. Someone or other was cross because they had just bought it and had big plans for it, and now it was just a big pile of rubble. Then the newsreaders started talking about something different, and I realised how loud the voices were from the television. I felt bad that I turned up the volume so high in the first place. I pressed the down button on the remote control and made voices get quieter and quieter until they disappeared altogether. Then I sat in silence, just watching the pictures, trying to work out what people were saying by how their lips moved, like Gaia could, but I couldn't understand them. Right, so that's up to chapter 6. Do you want to turn your microphones and your cameras on? Hi, Amber. Hi, Charlie.
Hi.
How are you all doing?
Good.
Good. So, anybody want to take a kind of guess at what might have happened to his mum?
Maybe she got robbed.
Maybe she,
Like she might have been robbed or something.
yeah, she might have been robbed. What job do we think she does? Where do we think she works?
Microphone is on, so
Maybe at the shop.
Yeah, it sounds like she works at a shop, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Why does she want to go back to work?
Maybe because like people live by a shop or something.
Yeah, it sounds like somebody's done something nasty to her, doesn't it? Alfie? Did you have your hand up?
I think because she might get beaten up again.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's why she doesn't want to go back. Jacob, did you want to say something?
My camera's not working, so I can't turn it on at the minute.
That's fine. Did you want to say anything about the book?
And no, not really.
How about you, Madison?
I think that her mum's not very well and that she's too tired to even move.
Yeah, I think her mum might have something like depression. She's scared to go outside, isn't she? And you can understand if she's been attacked in some way, then you can understand why she might be a bit scared. What do we think the plants are that have brought the building down? What do you think they might be, Jack? You need to turn your microphone off if you want to say something.
I think there might have been like vines or something, or maybe some poisonous plants. Like just sort of just crunching it and then just.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I mean, this is about Addy. Obviously, he's seen these menacing plants, and that's the first time that we've seen these menacing plants bring a building down. Where they've come from, because they've not been here before. So where might they have come from? Do you think? Anybody want to take a guess? Alfie, do you want to take a guess? Anybody? No? How do we feel about Ade? Do we feel sorry for him? Do we think he's got a nice life? Do we think he's got, what do we think about his character so far?
I think that Ade is worried that his mum's not going to get any better.
Yeah. He's only very young. I think he's probably only about your age. And he's already doing quite a lot for his mum, isn't he? So what sort of jobs is he doing for his mum at the moment? Does anybody want to tell me?
Look.
Isn't he like going to the shop and all that?
Yeah, I mean, he's got a lot of responsibility. He's carrying his mum's bank card, he's carrying £50 for her, he's doing the shopping. That's quite a lot of responsibility, isn't it? And the thing is, that's why Gaia is kind of surprised about what he's doing for his mum. So, guys, so what we're going to do is tomorrow morning at 9:30 again, we're going to read the next couple of chapters. Okay, so join me again. I'll put the meet up on Google Classroom. If you haven't read it already, on YouTube, on our school YouTube account, there is the Tom Fletcher book. What's it called? Somebody remind me. The Danger Gang. So if you want to listen to that, I'm reading The Danger Gang to my daughter. You might hear her every now and again do a little giggle. But I've been reading that to her every night. So if you want to listen to a book again, read The Danger Gang, okay? Right, so we'll see everybody tomorrow, all right?
Okay.
Bye.
If you've got a pet, bring your pet along tomorrow. I want to see your pets.
Bye.
Okay.
Bye.
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 Bye.